Hey creeps, it's Cameron again, and welcome back to another Fear Street reading vlog. So a couple of weeks ago, I posted the second part of my Fear Street reading vlog, and then a couple of weeks before that, I posted the first part. If you haven't seen those yet, I'm gonna link those below down in the graveyard so you can go and watch them and come back to this one because I've been reading all of the Fear Street books in publication order, and I'm hoping by the end of the year, I can binge through the entire series and all of the spin-offs. That's like 150 books or something crazy. And I am trying my best to read as many Fear Street books as I can before the Netflix movie trilogy comes out. And in my last vlog, I got up to book number 9, which is called The Stepsister. So this is the 9th book in the series. I am reading this right now. I am a little more than halfway through. So this one so far is about this girl named Emily, and she is going to have to share her room with her new stepsister, who, when around adults, acts like this perfect, glowing angel, but when the adults aren't around, she's just plain mean. And now some very sinister, threatening things are starting to happen around the house, and Emily is beginning to wonder if her new stepsister, Jessie, has something to do with it. For one, I just love this cover art. I think it's really spooky how her eyes are kind of glowing. I don't know if this has like a witchy kind of angle or anything like that, though the cover definitely gives me that vibe. So far, this just feels more like a straight up thriller, and it really reminds me of Summer of Fear by Lois Duncan, which is another one of my favorite young adult horror books. Summer of Fear came way before this book, and R.L. Stine may have had a little bit of an inspiration from that book, but the tone of this book is by far a lot different than Summer of Fear. So I don't think R.L. Stine copied Lois Duncan. He may have grabbed a little bit of inspiration from her book, but it's a very different beast overall. I'm enjoying it though. I'm really liking this, so I will check back with you really soon. I'm gonna go read some of this book right now. Fear Street. Some of her friends teased her about living on this street that held so many dark legends for the town of Shadyside. Emily had lived on Fear Street most of her life since she was 7 or 8 and hadn't witnessed any of the horrors her friends teased her about. Sure, she had sometimes heard strange moans and howls coming from the woods late at night, but the Fear Street Cemetery never held any particular horror for her. And she didn't really believe all the Fear Street stories about unsolved murders and mysterious disappearances, stories that sometimes even made it into the Shadyside newspaper. I love those little additions about Fear Street in these books. They're very moody and it just really sets the tone. So, I read a book. I finished it and it was really good. I really enjoyed this one. I will say the cover's a bit misleading because, as you can see, like, she's got the glowing eyes, and when I was a kid and I saw this cover, I always thought, like, did she discover her spell book? Is she like reading from her spell book or something? That's a little misleading. There's no witchcraft in this. This is a straight thriller like the majority of Fear Street books. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Is it predictable? Yes. If I wanted something unpredictable, I would read something else. But the thing about Fear Street is that they're so familiar and cozy, and that's what I expect and want from a Fear Street book. I really liked it. It was fun. It had some really good passages in it, and while I did see what was coming, I still liked where it went. And it actually has a really good climax that takes place in a cemetery, which was awesome. I would say I give this one 4 out of 5 stars, so it's definitely one of the better Fear Street books, and I would recommend this. So now I am on to book 10 in the Fear Street series. Book 10. I'm flying through these. So next up we have Ski Weekend, and this is another one that I have not read before, but a lot of people who are fans of Fear Street say this is one of their favorites, and I really enjoy that cover. I love their sweaters. I love everything about this cover. It is awesome. And this definitely reminds me of Slumber Party by Christopher Pike, where it's about a group of teenagers going to a ski lodge and they're snowed in and a lot of craziness ensues. Of course, it is the middle of the summer, but that's fine. I'm okay with reading a snowy isolation book. So yeah, I'm gonna start reading this next. Hey creeps, so it is Sunday, June 27th, and still reading Ski Weekend. I'm just started it, and I haven't had much of a chance to really read, and I've not been very good at vlogging so far this vlog, so sorry about that. Things have just been very, very busy. I am enjoying this. I'm gonna be reading this a lot more today in the car because it's my brother-in-law's birthday, and we are gonna go to a zoo and a water park to celebrate. So I'll have plenty of time to read in the car. So I'm gonna be reading Ski Weekend on the way to a water park. So yeah, that worked out. So it is the next day, it is Monday. It was a really great day yesterday, a lot of fun. The water park was crammed packed with people. I haven't been around that many people since before the pandemic. I am fully vaccinated, so I wasn't worried really, but it was just weird being around that many people and it felt a little overwhelming at times. Enough about the zoo and the water park. This is a Fear Street reading vlog. I realized that has nothing to do with Fear Street. I just thought it would be a little fun field trip, I guess. But anyway, I did get some time to read in the car. I will say that there was music playing in the car, and I usually do read with music or ambiance, but not with lyrics. If a song has lyrics in it, it's very hard for me to focus. So I got some reading done. I'm about 60 pages in, but it was really hard to like focus on it the whole time. But I'm loving this so far. This is really good. So we have these four teenagers who, at the beginning of the book, they're stuck in the car. They're driving home from this ski trip that they've been on. They all live in Shadyside, except for this character right here. His name is Red, and he's actually a stranger. He's just kind of like hitching a ride with these three friends. So we don't really know much about him, and neither do the characters. He's just kind of there. So anyway, they're trying to make it home to Shadyside through this blizzard. The car stalls. They don't know what to do. Finally, they find a ski lodge up in like the hills, and there's this couple that lives at the cabin. So they take these kids in, and you quickly start to discover these people are a bit strange. There's something very weird going on here, and it could be that maybe these people don't actually live at this cabin. You just feel like something's wrong, something's off. It almost reminds me of, I'm thinking of Ending Things, where the characters arrive to the parents' house and you just realize that something's really off. That's kind of what this whole book feels like, except I don't feel like it's going to be quite as existential. Very good though. I am really, really liking this. Yeah, it's Monday, so I have a lot of work to do. I'm going to get some lunch and then get back to work. So I will catch you guys in a little bit. Hey, so I just finished filming that last clip and I found out that the new Fear Street trailer is out. So this apparently is a trailer just for the first Fear Street movie in the trilogy. So this is just for 1994. I wasn't sure if they were going to do this because they released, of course, the teaser trailer for the trilogy. They released the trailer for the full trilogy, and now it looks like they're going to be releasing individual trailers for each movie. I'm a little on the fence about watching this because I'm worried it's just going to give away too much at this point, but I'm too excited. So we're going to watch it, and I'm going to do it here on camera, here in the vlog for you. Here we go. I'm a little nervous. I hope this looks good. Let's go.
What the hell? This is exactly why you have no friends.
Look, some guy killed a bunch of people at the mall last night.
Holy shit. Another Shady Side tragedy. Fits the narrative, right? Sarah fears that. Christ, not you two. There's no angry dead witch. The only thing that made him go crazy is this town.
The dude was wearing a Halloween skull mask. How is that not fun? I think there's someone in the woods.
We're together for one night and dead people are trying to kill us. Maybe we are doomed.
So spicy.
She was so sexy, but so crazy.
Normal bitches don't bleed black blood.
How do we not die? I'm looking at you, witch nerd.
You can't stop it.
Wow. Okay. I can't wait. I am so excited. We only have a few more days, actually just 4 more days. I'm going to be watching it Friday night after work. I love that we get to see just like the characters interacting in the hallways of Shadyside. The dialogue definitely felt pretty Fear Street. Now, I will say, of course, there's no swearing in the Fear Street books. In fact, this is rated R for strong bloody violence, which the books did have bloody violence, but they weren't too over the top. You know, they were toned down. It definitely looks like this is going to have a lot more. There's drug content in this, which was very rare in the Fear Street books. Language, which was also very rare in the books, and some sexual content. So really the only sexual content in the books was like a few steamy makeout sessions, which it seems like this definitely has one of those. I could tell from the trailer. I know like the second movie is rated R for, I think there's even nudity in it, which is really surprising to me to think that there would be nudity in a Fear Street movie, but anyway, we'll see about that. But overall, I'm just like really, really excited, and I think this looks really good. I like the interactions between the characters. It seems very Fear Street because the characters at Shadyside, of course, are very snarky, and they like to bust each other's chops and kind of poke fun at each other and tease each other. The whole thing in the mall with Maya Hawke being chased around in the mall, and there was like that glow-in-the-dark room with all the Halloween masks. That looks so cool. I can't wait for that whole scene. I'm kind of hoping that that scene opens up the movie, so it's kind of like our Drew Barrymore Scream kind of intro. That would be really cool to see. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, what you thought of the trailer. Of course, by the time you see this, the movie's gonna be out, so let me know what you think of the movie. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in a little bit, and we will read more Fear Street books leading up to the first movie in the trilogy. Can't wait. Hey creeps, it is a spooky Wednesday afternoon. It's very rainy and stormy, and it's supposed to be raining off and on all day. We've had a lot of lightning and stuff too, so totally spooky, totally my vibe. It is also the last day before I start work full-time. I recently announced that I was going to be starting on the Bookmobile full-time. I've been part-time for the past 5 years, so this is going to be the first time I've had a full-time job in like 6 years. It's been a while. I've had other gigs since then, just kind of going along with my part-time job, and then of course YouTube and writing. So this will be the first time I've like actually had a steady full-time job in 6 years. The last few days I have been just struggling to really get as many videos done as I possibly can to try to get as many videos scheduled out, so that way on weekends I won't feel quite as stressed to make videos. And I've just been working so much that I've not had very much time to read. So I'm still on ski weekend and I'm a little more than halfway through, and I'm hoping today that I can just sit and breathe and relax for a little bit and hopefully get this done today. The next book in the series is book number 11, and that is called The Fire Game. It's kind of a boring cover in my opinion, and I've looked at the reviews on Goodreads and most people say this one's pretty boring, so I'm not necessarily looking forward to this one, but that's okay because I think what I'm gonna do is skip ahead a little bit. I know I said I'm going to try to read all of the books in order of publication date, but I'm going to be skipping ahead and kind of going backwards in time at the same time. So here we have the Fear Street Saga. I've actually read all 3 books in the Fear Street Saga trilogy, so this will be a reread for me, but I really want to reread this and kind of revamp myself when it comes to the history of Shadyside, because it's been a long time. I read this back when I was like 10 years old. I got this from Borders Books. So it's been a long time since I've read this and the rest of the trilogy. So I would really like to kind of refamiliarize myself with the history before the 1966 movie comes out. And then once I finish the Fear Street Saga, I will jump back and go to The Fire Game. That, where I will jump forward a couple of books and read Lights Out, which is supposed to be what the second Fear Street movie is based on. I'd really like to read that before I see part 2 of the trilogy, the movie trilogy. There's an update for you guys. I just wanted to let you know I'm gonna try to finish this book today and just relax. I've got my pumpkin candle burning, I've got my blanket, I've got my beverage. So I'm hoping for a relaxing day today. So yeah, let's try this out. Let's read. Okay, I just finished reading Ski Weekend, book 10 in the Fear Street series by R.L. Stine, and I loved this. This was awesome. While I wouldn't say this is a good place to start if you're new to the Fear Street series, because this doesn't actually take place in Shadyside. Fear Street is only very briefly mentioned, just one time. So I would still recommend starting with a book like, I don't know, Silent Night or The Wrong Number, something like that, something that takes place in Shadyside. But this was a really good little vacation book, you know, taking a vacation from Fear Street. It's very twisty and turny, and our main character, Ariel, is very good. I really liked reading about her. And the book is actually told in first person from her perspective, which I thought was a nice change. Most of the books are told in third person past tense, but this is one that's actually told in first person. I will definitely be rereading this one in the future, especially in the winter time. I think this would be a really good wintertime read. So there's Ski Weekend, and I am super pumped to get into Fear Street Saga, book number 1, The Betrayal. I hope this lives up to what I remember it being. And from what I hear from other fans who have revisited the books, everybody really loves the Fear Street Saga. Hey creeps, it is Thursday, July 1st. We are already in July. What the hell? I have been reading the Fear Street Saga, book number 1, The Betrayal. I only have about 30 pages left. I read the majority of this today. It is just as riveting as it was when I read it when I was a kid. And I forgot just how heart-wrenching and brutal and just depressing the origins of Shadyside is. It is crazy. The book starts off with the Fear Mansion in 1900, and it is burning to the ground. So that's kind of like where everything ends, and then we jump back in time to the 1600s, and we are following the Good family, and the 2 women in the Good family have just been accused of being witches and are about to be burned at the stake. The Fear family is the reason why these 2 women were even accused in the first place, and they are cursed for it. So next you're following the Fear family through the decades as they are being subjected to this curse. It's pretty great, man. I love these books so much, and I'm excited to revisit the other 2 books. I am almost done with this. I'm thinking I'll finish it tonight before bed. Anyway, I am going to get in bed, do some reading, and then get some sleep because I'm gonna need it. Got work tomorrow. You know, adult stuff. I have to go to work, but look. Look, there it is. So close.
yet still so far away. I want to watch it, but I have to go. So we'll watch it tonight. See ya.
All right, so I have my copy of Betrayal, which is actually just the Fear Street Saga bind up, and I am on my break. So I was like, you know what? I got 15 minutes. Let's see how much I can read. So right now, I am still on The Betrayal, which is the first book. I started to read it last night after I talked to you guys, and I was immediately like, no, I need to go to bed right now. I have to sleep. So I read like 2 pages, and that was it. So right now I'm on page 137, which is chapter 19, which means I have literally like 30 pages left of the first book. So I'll see how much I can read. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish it in 15 minutes, but I'll definitely get quite a bit read in that time. So let's go. All right, I read about 20 pages, and man, all the secrets are starting to come out, and it's like a soap opera, but like a period soap opera with witches and secrets and dark magic, and it's so good, and it really reminds me of My Family, except without like the witch burning, maybe like, I don't know, metaphorical witch burning, but you know, yeah, I find it a bit relatable in some ways.
Hey guys, all right, so just got home. I already have my Fear Street shirt on. I know I've worn this shirt like 3 times in this vlog so far, but it's my Fear Street vlog and it's Fear Street week, so I gotta wear the shirt. Anyway, just got home from work, and I was actually going to wait to watch the movie because my sister and her husband were off at the lake, and I wanted to wait for them to get back so that way we could watch it all together. But they got home as soon as I did. So we're going to get together and watch it together right now. I can't believe it's finally here. Years later, in all of this time, for like since I was a kid, they've talked about doing a Fear Street movie. And here it is, it's finally happening. So excited. Anyway, catch you guys in a little bit. I just finished watching it, and I'm pleased to say that I really, really liked it. I was so worried. I was excited, but very nervous at the same time. And I'm pleased to say that I actually really love this movie. Was it Fear Street? Yes, in a lot of ways, and no in some ways. For one, Fear Street itself isn't really mentioned, like, at all. You don't really get any of the backstory of the street itself, Fear Street. And if you've like read the Fear Street sagas and you know how that street came to be and why it's cursed, yeah, we get a lot of Shadyside stuff, a lot about Shadyside High, but there's no references to Fear Street. It's more like, oh, bad stuff happens in Shadyside all the time. But really in the books, yeah, bad stuff happens at Shadyside High, bad stuff happens in Shadyside in general, but a lot of the legends and the really bad stuff happens on Fear Street. That's what it's notorious for. So I was a little bit kind of disappointed that we didn't get any references to Fear Street, or somebody being like, oh, they live on Fear Street, you know, their house is probably haunted, or their sister is probably a maniac, because that's what happens, you know. But we didn't really get that. So that was a little bit disappointing. The whole vibe of the high school and everything, it felt very much like Shadyside. And also you have the whole, like, the rich kids and the poor kids. That was always a big plot point of the Fear Street books. Now in the movies, instead of having it be like the rich kids from one side of Shadyside and the lower class kids from the other side, you had 2 totally different schools. So there's the rich school, and then Shadyside is the the lower class, the poorer school. So they kind of split it up, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But the interactions with the kids and the characters, they definitely felt like Fear Street characters. I mean, they're definitely a lot more vulgar, but they feel like Fear Street characters, especially the main character. She's very determined and very kind of hard, and that's how most of the female characters in Fear Street books are. They're go-getters, and they don't take shit from people. They get to the bottom of stuff. Even if they have a weak moment where they're kind of moping, they get back on their feet pretty quick, and they're like, you know what? No, I'm not going to take this. And that's how all of the characters are in the new Fear Street movie. So I really enjoyed it. It's a really well-made movie. The cinematography is fantastic. The acting is great. The visual effects are really good. I was worried from the trailer that maybe there would be too much CGI, but there isn't. There's just a few moments of CGI, and the moments of CGI are actually really good. They're not noticeable. They're not glaring. The visual effects when it comes to the gore, wow. There were a couple of death scenes in this that made me go, what the? It was insane. Insane. And there's a couple of scenes toward the end of the movie, which I'm sure if you've seen it, you know what those are. I was blown. You know, I could not believe that they actually went there. That was really cool. And I love the ending. It definitely leaves it perfectly open for the next movie in the trilogy. So I'm very excited. I'm very, very pumped. Now, the only thing I'm really nervous about is the 1966 movie. If you've read the saga, if you know the backstory of Fear Street, it's pretty obvious that they're going to be making a lot of changes and probably condensing the saga a lot, which I understand, but I'm hoping to see a lot of the things that I love about this book. I want to see all of the betrayal and the wrongly accused witches and the curse that is put upon the Fear family that stretches on for generations and generations. It's a really epic story. It's really sad, and I just want to see it portrayed. You know, this is a really cool story, and I hope they do it well. And I did have a couple of issues when it comes to like the time frame of the movies. Like the kid in it singing the White Zombie song. That song is from 1995. The movie takes place in 1994, so that was a little error. And also the kid is using AOL Chat, which didn't come about until 1997, so he couldn't have been using it in 1994. But I've always felt like Fear Street and Shadyside kind of exist in their own atmosphere. I know that those were errors. I know that those were errors, but I will forgive them and think of it more as like, oh, well, their sense of time in Shadyside is probably a little different than ours. So I know that's not it, but that's how I'm going to choose to think about it. So if you're one of those people who have watched the movie and you're like, oh, that's not my Fear Street, well, there's actually a podcast that I can recommend to you. It is called the Dustin Can Read podcast. He usually talks about books like Fear Street and Point Horror and all of those, 90s horror books. But he recently did a trilogy, a Fear Street tribute trilogy, where it's like, oh, what if there was a podcast in modern day Shadyside? What would that look like? And it is the perfect tribute to the books. It is spot on. Trust me, I would know. And I actually do make a guest appearance on the show and kind of lend my voice to some voice acting, which I've done a little bit of for other podcasts and other like films, but this was like really fun because I got to play a pretty cool character. So if you would like to listen to that, I will leave a link down below. I recommend it. I'm not just recommending it because I was in it, but because it is truly a very solid Fear Street parody tribute. I just highly recommend it. So check that out, and please let me know what you thought down below about the movie. Boo. Hey. Hi. So last night I finished reading Fear Street Saga, book number 1, The Betrayal. Loved it. I don't have to say much more about it other than I love it. It's just as good as I remember it being. It's just a fantastic, riveting, fun read. And also very sad and very depressing at the same time. But that's, that's fun to me as a horror lover. So yeah, I recommend it. It's a fantastic read, and I am so excited
to get on to the second book in the series, in the trilogy called The Secret. So I'm gonna be continuing on with my Fear Street reading vlog in a couple weeks from now. So in the next part, I think it's gonna be part 4. I think I've already done 3 of these already, so wow. But yeah, part 4, I'm gonna be continuing on with the saga. I'm gonna read Lights Out, which I'm really excited for, and we'll just resume back to reading all of the books in publication order from there. And then of course, I'll also be watching and reacting and reviewing part 2 and part 3 of the movie trilogy. So definitely come back for that. I am really, really pumped to keep on going with the series and to watch the other movies. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I've been putting a lot of work into them and they've been a lot of fun to make, but at the same time, I hope you guys are liking them. So definitely let me know down below in the comments what you think of these vlogs, what you think of the books, if you've read them yourself, what you thought of the movies. Are you a fan of Fear Street? Maybe you've just found out about Fear Street through me or through the movies. Either way, fantastic. I'm just really glad to have you guys here. Please let me know what you thought down below. Give me a like if you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you on the next episode of Library Macabre. Later, creeps.